Walking in. And they're off. Runners sent on their way, the field of 5 dispatched from the 3-mile starting point for the Robert Hitchens Group and Andoversford Grand Annual, our featured contest of the day. On the approach towards the first of the 17 obstacles they'll have to jump, and there's not a great deal of pace on in the early strides. They rise for the first time, at which Asdefer Bay wasn't all that fluent. Nose was almost on the turf. On the landing side, Asdefer Bay, the big flashy grey. Towards the back end of this field early doors is probably just Stone who will have the lead as they rise for the second time, at which there was a mistake there. In second position from the green-jacketed takeover Sibylla, who didn't rise very high at all. So they're now at the third. Stone was big and bold at it, showing up still, only a length and a half or so in advance of Mr. Dick, who races in second place. Takeover Sibylla's up the inside rail in third, being followed through by Squirrel Esquire in fourth place, and the grey Asdefer Bay is settled at the tail of the field. Continuing their progress on towards the ditch, Jumpers fence number 4. Change in the early order, Stone still showing the way, the pink jacket about a length ahead now. Still very steady gallop on the approach towards the ditch, riders taking into account the testing conditions as they rise once again. And all neat and nimble at the ditch, all jump that with fluency. Right hand down, heading into the back straight on the approach to the first of the 3 fences along the far side. Fences 5, 6 and 7. Stone. Still a length or so in advance. Takeover Sibylla and Mr. Dick in the Diamonds jacket of red and blue. Another length or so to Asdefer Bay, who's on the outside of Squirrel Esquire, as they now approach the middle fence today down the back straight. Again, the jumping was far from poor at all around. Everyone's jumped very accurately so far. So they're coming to rise once again, final time down the back straight on this circuit. And Stone is still towing the field along, took the lead up after the second obstacle. And again, there was a bad mistake there at the back of the field from Asdefer Bay. It wasn't particularly fluid at all. That's the second error for Asdefer Bay on the way round so far. David O'Brien was right up to the buckle end as they continue their progress towards the exit of the back straight. So it's Stone out in front here under Sam Dukes. Sam, who trains this gelding as well, just about holding the upper hand at this stage. There's not a great deal between them, only still 3 or 4 lengths top to tail. Stone though still just holding the advantage. And Mr. Dick, who races slightly wider and Takeover Sibylla. White cap of Squirrel Esquire is just smothered up in between that pair. Still just last of all is Asdefer Bay on the approach towards the fence, which will be 2 out next time round. Stone still with a length break. Comes to it now. Up and over ahead. Takeover Sibylla on the inside. Mr. Dick on the outer. Squirrel Esquire and Asdefer Bay still right in between that group of runners. So turning now back through their starting point, heading back up the home straight. Stone still out in front with the lead. Mr. Dick stood in there stalking in the hands of Henry Platt, the £5 claim for Henry in this contest. Stood in behind the leading line, Squirrel Esquire and James Martin. Squirrel Esquire, a 3-time point-to-point winner as they rise, and the fence should be the last next time around. So making their progress up the home straight, a few little reminders to Takeover Sibylla at the back end of the field. They've crossed the winning line with a full circuit to cover in the Andoversford feature. Rising again, all to the other side safely. Slight reminders now for Mr. Dick, who's come under a bit of pressure all of a sudden, as Stone still leads the way. Stone narrowly, rising at the final fence up the home straight. Stone up and over ahead of Mr. Dick. Squirrel Esquire still moves with plenty of menace in behind, seems to be travelling very sweetly indeed at this stage. Asdefer Bay is wider out in 4th position, and the back marker continues to be Takeover Sibylla in that green jacket, who again continues to just be on and off the bridle at this stage in the hands of James Stevens as they now work their way towards the open ditch for the final time. Stone in front, dictating, has done so far throughout. Mr. Dick still within a length, has responded for the rider's urgings. Squirrel Esquire was in a touch tight to the ditch there. James Martin just readjusting on the landing side. Wasn't a significant error, but it was a first small blemish. ANDOVERSFORD still in 4th place, and Takeover Similar is still well in touch, but is still the back marker of the fight. So down the back straight they go, working their way towards the first of the 3 in the back. They've still got 5 left to take. It is Stone who still leads the way, but the lead is down to half a length as Mr. Dick continues to respond for those riders' urgings and continues to stalk in second. Squirrel Sky still close enough, if good enough, in third. ANDOVERSFORD's had a couple of errors along the way, but is still thick in the action here. Is in 4th place and only 5 lengths off the lead as they rise once again. And once again, their Squirrel Sky wasn't quite as fluid as has been throughout so far. So the errors are starting to creep in, not significant ones, but it's still Stone in front. Stone leads the way on the approach towards 3 out. Still a long way from home. Stone up and over ahead. Mr. Dick in 2nd place. Squirrel Squire is in 3rd. A gap then of 3. Opening up to ANDOVERSFORD in 4th, and a further 4 or 5 lengths adrift is Takeover Similar at the back end of the field. So 2 left to jump in the Robert Hitchens Group ANDOVERSFORD Grand Annual, the 4th of the afternoon. And they're working their way towards the end of the back straight before they'll take this sweeping right-handed turn back towards home. Can Stone fend off the challengers? Can Stone hold on up front? Is doing so at the moment, but Squirrel Squire continues to loom large up on the outside, is within a length of the lead. These 2 now beginning to pour it on. They've opened up a gap of 2.5 to Mr. Dick, who is now under stronger driving back in 3rd, and then comes ANDOVERSFORD in 4th with a gap of 6 lengths away to Takeover Similar at the back of the field. So now on the approach towards the 2nd from home, and Squirrel Squire is now being asked to produce that effort. Is asked to come upside Stone, who continues to fight on relentlessly to the inside, having been up there fighting for the lead from the outset. Stone still leads. Stone up and over ahead. Squirrel Squire in 2nd place and is yet to get past this leader. Back in 3rd place then is Mr. Dick, ANDOVERSFORD, and Takeover Similar still in behind. So making the approach towards the top of the home straight with 1 fence left to jump in the ANDOVERSFORD Grand Annual, and Stone is all heart, his game up front in the hands of Sam Dukes. Squirrel Squire and James Martin are trying desperately hard to get by, but will Stone deny them? They're on the approach towards the last. Stone continues to fight off the challenge at the moment, but they come now off up the running. It's Stone and also Squirrel Squire driving towards the judge. A great finish to our featured contest. Squirrel Squire putting level with Stone, who's wandered off a true line, and Stone and Squirrel Squire will go to the judge once again. The pair pulling well clear. Mr. Dick will track them home, being followed through by Takeover Similar as ANDOVERSFORD was pulled up.